Hey there, virtual students. It's your teacher, Ms. Puyat. And for shared reading today, our learning goal is I can determine the main idea of a text and explain how it is supported by key details. So what's important with our learning goal for today? I want you to focus on key details. As we're reading our text, we're going to try and pull out information that helps support our main idea. So the book that we'll be using this week to help with our learning strategy, it's called Show Me the Money, How to Make Sense of Economics, and it's by Alvin Hall. Now, looking at this cover, you can clearly see there's tons of money falling all over the place. Now, money can come in different forms. You can see here, coins is one form of money. I want you to go ahead and talk to your learning coach and maybe come up with other ways money can come in. So what other forms can money come in? Go ahead and pause this video at this time and share with your learning coach all the different ways money can come in. Okay, now that you shared, I just want to know if any of you came up with credit cards as an answer. Well, that is what we're going to be reading about. We're going to be reading about Fantastic Plastic, and that's on page 24 and 25. What I did for you guys is I posted a file onto this lesson. You can go ahead and pull up this passage, and you can look at that as I'm reading along to you. Okay, so I'm going to start on the one page where it says Fantastic in big bolded print. Now I'm going to go all the way to the top where it says electronic money. Now, as we do shared reading together for the year to help you keep track of where I am, I'm going to go ahead and leave out some words blank as I read. Now, when I leave them blank, what I want you to do is to go ahead and say the word out loud. So, for example, let's go back to electronic money. I'll read the first sentence and I'll leave out one word. A great deal of the money that circulates in society is... So, do you see how I paused right there? That's when you would say the word invisible. So let's go ahead and try it again. A great deal of the money that circulates in society is... Okay, so that's what we're going to do as we share read together for the year. Okay, I'm going to go back to the top and start all over again and keep up with me. Electronic money. A great deal of the money that circulates in society is... It enters and leaves bank accounts without ever becoming notes and coins. When people make big purchases, it is scarcely even in hard and usually takes the form of an electronic transfer by credit or debit card or by... All right, in the first sentence, it says that money circulates in society is invisible. I want you to go ahead and talk to your learning coach about what this means. How is money actually invisible? At this time, pause and discuss with your learning coach how money can be invisible. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start reading under the big word fantastic with the paragraph that starts with until. Ready? Until the 1950s, to buy something, you needed to pay for it with... Then there were... But credit and debit cards have truly revolutionized. These days, we use actual and notes less and less, and pretty soon they will seem as old-fashioned as and beads. So this paragraph right here kind of gives a summary of how money has changed throughout the years. What I want you to do with your learning coach is to discuss, if you were to make a timeline, how would people have used money from the past, and how are people using money today? How is it different? Go ahead and pause this video at this time and share with your learning coach. how money is different from the past to how it is now. Okay, so it looks like the author gave an example of what a credit card or debit card looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and read this caption to figure out more information about why he put this example here. To prevent fraud, fraud means someone who's trying to claim who you are. The cardholder's name appears on the card to show who should be using it. The card cannot be used after its expiration date. So looking at this picture, the expiration date is, it says it expires 01-10. Go ahead and talk to your learning coach. What does that mean? When is the actual expiration date? All right, so when you look at your parents' credit card, if they have an example out for you, you'll see that they do have their name on it. And just like this said, in this caption, it's to prevent fraud. It's to prevent people to claim or pretend that they are that person. They have to show proof that the card belongs to them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start on the next page. In the black section, there's like a black strip. I'm going to go to the very top. Never mind the change. There are many ways people benefit from electronic. Putting it on the plastic, using a card to pay in a store, saves people from having to get and carry actual notes and. So let's go ahead and revisit our learning goal. Have you caught any key details? That's right. Some of the details we've learned so far are about credit cards. What have we learned so far about credit cards? I want you to share with your learning coach something that you've learned about credit cards. All right, let's move on to online banking. Online banking. Instead of going into a bank, people can go online or phone their bank to access their. You can check your balance, how much money you have, pay bills, and do nearly. You can do it in a branch, except get actual. Okay, so how can online banking be a benefit? Now, sometimes it's not mentioned in this text, but I even use online banking on my phone. So how is it a benefit for you to be able to look at your banking account on the phone? All right, let's move on to automated tellers. Even more convenient than online, ATMs make it possible for you to deposit, pay in, and withdraw, take out, real money. In addition to paying bills, there are more than 1.6 ATMs in the world. There's even one in Antarctica. Okay, as I read safety in numbers, there's a big word in here, and it's counterfeiters. Try and figure out what this word means as I read this paragraph. Every card has a hologram to make it hard for counterfeiters to make fake. It appears behind the long number that runs across the middle of the card. The first 6 digits of this number identify which company issued the card. The next set are the cardholder's account, and the last digit is the check, a security feature to prevent counterfeiters making up random card numbers. Okay, so let's try and figure out what counterfeiters mean. In the very first sentence, it says every card has a hologram to make it hard for counterfeiters to make fake cards. So there's our big hint right there. Fake cards, counterfeiters. Counterfeiters mean something that's fake. Well, sometimes you might see people counterfeit money, and you may even see that in movies where people are printing the money in cash over and over and over again, and it's not even real money, but it's fake, so it's counterfeit. All right, so last but not least, pick a card. We're going to read this last section, but before I read it to you, this is going to be your ticket out. Okay, so as I read this, I want you to think, what are the similarities and differences between credit cards and debit cards? Okay, and I'll explain to you the assignment after I finish reading this, but I want you to think about, again, What are the similarities and differences between credit cards and debit cards? Pick a card. Debit cards take money out of your bank account. It's like paying for things with. Credit cards allow you to spend money loaned to you by the. Although you will have to pay it back. Credit means you are spending money you may not actually. You end up paying back more than you borrowed because of interest charges. Okay, so what is interest? Interest is a fee that you have to pay someone when you borrow money from them. So let's say, for example, you borrow $5 from me. 3 weeks go by and you're going to pay me back the $5 that you gave me. But now I have an interest fee. That means on top of the $5 that I lent you, you owe me $1 since you didn't pay me right away. So you end up paying me $6 in total. $1 would be the interest. Okay, so let's go back and revisit our learning goal. Our learning goal is to try and find the details that help support our main idea. And the details we're going to use today are debit cards and credit cards. Now, what you're going to do is create a Venn diagram of how debit cards and credit cards are different from each other and how they are the same. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a Venn diagram for you. You can use this Venn diagram, or you can put it in your journal and respond to the question how debit cards and credit cards are the same and how are they different. To help you find your answer, you can always go back, look at the text, reread it. I always suggest rereading actually the entire thing by yourself, or practice reading this for fluency. But your main task for today is answering the question how credit cards and debit cards are alike and how are they different. And go ahead and set yourself up a Venn diagram to help organize your thoughts.